All right, so here's our first problem. And folks, this is basically a problem that I pulled right off the test from 4 years ago. This is the type of question that I asked, all right? Now, I have asked every possible question that I could ask on this question, right? So list price, net price equivalent rate, net price, single equivalent discount rate, discount amount, etc. All these sorts of things. I can ask any of them. I will probably ask a subset of them, okay? So I won't necessarily ask for every one of these terms, but you can pretty much assume that I'm going to ask for 3 or 4 or 5 of them, right? Just not necessarily all of them, all right? All right, so we're running this retail shop, and we're buying 2,500 t-shirts with an MSRP of $5.99, right? Again, that's what we're going to sell them for. So in theory, that's what we buy them at. And then we get this 30/12/6 discount. What are you guys going to do right away as soon as you see 30/12/6 discount? Compliments. And so what am I going to write? 70, 88, 94. Right? So the numbers that add up to 100 with those are all the complement values, okay? Now, terms of 3/10, 1/20n/90, wrong! What does that mean? Yeah, So these are our discounts for early payments. Note that the date is ROG. What does that mean we're going to use?
Receipt of goods.
The receipt of goods date. So my advice is to go down to the dates and cross off the one that you're going to not use, right? So the invoice has a date of 7/25/15, and we received the goods on 8/2. Since it's ROG, we don't care about the invoice date. All we care about is when we receive the goods. Okay? So again, you don't necessarily have to do these things at the beginning of the problem, but my advice is that when you have these sorts of problems, that's really the first step, right? Get yourself set up so that you only have one date and you know what your complements are that you know you're going to work from. All right, so now there's all this payment information. We'll get to that when we have to start dealing with the bill. All right, so let's start with the list price. How do we figure out the list price, folks? Yeah, 2,500 times $5.99, right? So in theory, what's our list price?
14,975.
14,975.
Yes.
All right. So, and again, remember technically that's our revenue, right? That's what we're going to sell these shirts for once we have sold all 2,500 of them in theory. All right. Now, net price equivalent rate. How do we get that? All right. So take the 0.7 times 0.88 times 0.96, the product of your complements, okay? What was that number?
It's 9.4.
9.4 at the end, sorry.
And then I got 0.57.
57904. And again, folks, do not round that number. Leave the rates exactly as they are, okay? And use all the digits when you go to use it, okay? The only time you're going to round is when you're writing a dollar sign. There's no dollar sign in that, don't round it, okay? Now, how do we use this to get the net price?
Multiplying by the list price.
Yeah. List price times net price equivalent rate gives you the net price. That's why they call it the net price equivalent rate, right? So, 14,975 times the 0.57904. And now is when you round to the nearest penny because it's money, right? This 14,975 has a dollar sign on it. So, what's our net price?
8,671.
12?
It was 124.
It was 124, yeah, so round down then in that case. Alright, so net price, $8,671.12. Technically, what is this number? To my business? To my retail business?
Your profit. Or what you owe.
Yeah, this is what I actually have to pay for it, okay? This is what I pay for it. The list price is what is the item's worth that I'm getting. And then the last one's the profit. Alright, so how do we figure single equivalent discount rate, folks?
That's the one minus the net price.
Yes, exactly. So 1 minus the 0.57904. Basically, those two are complements of each other. 0.42096. And remember that this represents essentially your discount as one number, right? We are technically getting a 42.096% discount, all right? With that 30/8/12/6. That's what a discount is as one number. Now, last but not least, what's my discount amount? I should have said trade discount amount to be specific. How are we going to get the discount?
Your 8,671
12, yeah, what about it?
times that by.
You got to go back to the list price if you're going to multiply.
Alright.
Alright, so one way to calculate it is take the list price, the 19, or wait, was it 19,000? 14.9, right? 14,975 times the 0.42096. So remember, yes, you always go back to the list price if you're going to do the multiplication. What's the other way of doing it? You don't necessarily have to multiply. Nope. It's easier than that even. How do you figure out what the discount is? Remember, folks, the discount is also your profit. Yeah, just subtract. Yeah. That's the other way around it. It's perfectly okay to just take the 14,975 and minus the 8,600. What was that number?
8,671.12.
671.12. Both of those should give you the same number. If they don't give you the same number, then you should be worried. Okay, that's actually a nice way to check those two numbers just to be safe, right? So, how much of a discount did we get from our trade discount? 6,000 something.
6,332.
And remember, that's the number that represents our profit, right? Once we've sold all of those shirts at $5.99, we'll have wound up making that much money off of the sale of those shirts. All right? All right, so note, again, now we're going to start making payments. So, we make this first payment on August 8th, 2015. First off, is that $2,000 a full payment?
No.
No. Therefore, what kind of a payment is it? Partial payment. What kind of a discount am I getting on August 8th? 3% discount. Again, because this is within 10 days of when we receive the goods. Now, how do we handle a partial payment of $2,000 with a 3% discount?
When we divide 0.97 into the 2,000.
Yes, very good. This is where you divide by the complement. When you make a partial payment to figure out how much the payment is worth, divide by the complement of its discount. All right? So, how much is that $2,000 payment really worth?
2,061.86 cents.
$2,061.86. All right, now what am I going to do with that number then?
That's how much you owe, but you subtract then that off from the net price.
Subtract that off from the net price. Exactly. Good. So that's the other thing that you have to make sure that you do correctly here at this stage, folks, is remember that the net price is what you owe. So when you pay this much, that whatever's left after you subtract it, that's how much you owe, right? So take 86.71.12 and subtract 20.61.86, and you will get how much you owe after making that $2,000 payment. So, subtraction. What did that work out to be?
6609.26.
6609.26. That's right. So we've reduced our charge down to $6,609.26. All right. Then what happens? We'll make another $2,000 payment on the 18th. What kind of a discount are we getting on the 18th, folks?
1%.
1%, right? The 3% window is closed. That closes on the 12th, right? We're after the 12th, therefore we're not getting 3% anymore. We switch to the next window. We're down to 1%. All right, so.
Would you divide the 9.99?
Yep.
6609.26? Or I should say 2,000 by 0.99.
Yes.
Okay.
$2,000 with a 1% discount. Again, you still take a partial payment because this is still not paying everything, right? So it's another partial payment at a 1% discount. So divide that by its complement of 0.99. How much did our $2,000 payment help us?
2,099 cents.
Right, you added, try to divide.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
Thank you, Monroe. 20, 20, 20. 20s are wild.
There's more 20s after that. It's rounded up.
It's money, so we round it up to pennies, right?
More 20s.
Now, what are we going to do with that 20, 20, 20?
We subtract that from the previous number.
Excellent, good. So go back to the previous number that we've gotten our bill down to, the 6609.26, and subtract the 20, 20, 20 from it, right? So 6609.26 minus 20, 20, 20. Almost home. 069,854. $4,589.06. After the $2,000 payment. And then last but not least, folks, when do we pay off this payment?
90 days. So
When did I make the last payment? 8/22. What was that, Carl?
That's like the last day of the 20 days.
That's the last day of the 20 days, folks. The last date counts. As long as this payment hits before midnight on the 22nd, it's still inside the 20-day window. Okay? So the day counts. If it weren't before midnight, then the date of this payment would be on the 23rd, in which case then it's too late. Okay? But on the 22nd, we are still getting a 1% discount. Alright, so be careful with that last payment. On 8/22, we still get a 1% discount. We're still at the last day of our 1% discount window. We still get to take 1% off of this charge when we make our final payment. So, how much are we going to owe when we get a 1% discount off our $4,589.06? $2.06 bill. And how are we going to do it in one step?
Just multiply the 45,896 by 0.99, right?
There you go. Good. Note, this is a full payment, folks. When you're making that last payment, it's going to be a full payment. So don't do any division. The division is only for partial payments. All right? So here, we're going to take 45,8906 and multiply by 0.99 because that's the complement of 1%. And what's our final payment going to be? How many pennies was that? 17? So our final payment with the 1% discount, because we still got the 1% window open, 45, 43, 17. Folks, this is a great problem, all right? Because this basically does everything we've done in Chapter 7, folks. This question asks it all, right? List price, net price, both the trade discount rate and the net price equivalent rate, the discount amount, it's got early payment terms, it's got dealing with partial payments, this has got it all, okay? What's the only thing that we didn't do in this problem? The other types of terms, right? We didn't do an EOM and we didn't do a standard terms where there's no letters after, right? That's why I had to ask you a few more questions on this review to get some of those in there, okay? But this, folks, if you're looking for a problem that basically describes everything we did in Chapter 7, this is it right here. I could ask any and or all of these types of questions on the test, okay?
What about shipping? We didn't go over that this one.
Yeah, there'll be some shipping. We'll get some shipping in the next one. Again, just don't forget for shipping, folks, don't give it a trade discount. That's the kick to dealing with shipping. All right, so let's try another one. This time we've got one that's EOM. All right? What does EOM mean? End of month. Does that mean I have to pay by the end of the month? No. The end of month just means that's when the window starts, right? That's when it opens. So 2/10 EOM, that means that my bills are always going to give me a 2% discount until the 10th day after the end of the month, hence the 10th. Okay? So again, remember that EOM is misleading a little bit. It's when the window opens, not when it closes. Alright? Alright, so here's our quick, dirty little problem. 500 toasters at $9.99 each. This is a Walmart special. And they get a 30/12/5/2 discount. Right? A nice big juicy discount. And their terms are 2/10 N90 EOM. Invoice date, receipt of goods dates. Folks, what are you going to do with the 30/12/5/2?
Compliments.
Yeah. Those are your discounts. Do it right away. 70, 88, 95, 98. And please, 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 pretty please, do not tell me that the last number's complement is 80. The number of times I've seen that show up on a test because people get in a hurry, they read 2 and think 20 and then go, oh, 10 minus 2 is 80. Please don't do that, okay? All right. Now, which of these dates am I going to use, folks?
Well, you'd be using the invoice date,
Good.
but it's also EMO, so the date's also going to change.
The key, though, is realizing ignore the receive date, right? No matter what happens with the receive date, it doesn't matter. We could have received these goods in July, it doesn't matter. The invoice date's May, that's what we have to deal with. Now, just for fun, what is the last day that we can get our 2% discount for this problem? was that, Greg?
July 10th,
Why is it July 10th?
because it's after the 25th.
Good. Note, the date is after the 25th. This means that we get one extra month. One extra month. So normally when you do this problem, folks, you're going to go, oh, what month is it? May. Go to the end of May and add 10 days. 10 days plus the end of May takes you to June 10th. That's normally when it would be if this date was the 25th or earlier, but because it's the 27th, we have until July 10th to actually get our 2% discount. Okay? And again, 10 days after the end of May, that's June 10th, one extra month, July 10th. Okay? And don't worry about how many days there are between June 10th and July 10th. That's unimportant. It's just the next month on the same date, period. Okay? Alright, so now let's do this, baby. List price, what are we going to do? Yep. So I'm buying $4,995 worth of toasters. Net price? Note, I didn't ask for any of the rates this time, folks. I just said, hey, just give me the net price. Jump right to it. How are you going to get there quickly? What should I do?
Wasn't it something like you could add them all up for?
Exact opposite. Don't add them up. Just multiply them all together.
Okay.
So take your list price, $49.95, and multiply by each of your complements. So instead of calculating the net price equivalent rate, you can just say skip that step and sort of do everything all in one step. All right? So times 0.7 times 0.88 times, what was the next one? 95 and 98? Okay. 95 and 98. So normally you would multiply all those decimals and get the net price equivalent rate, but since I didn't ask for it, you don't necessarily have to get it for me. All right?
So,
You can, though. There's nothing wrong with it, right? If you wanted to, you could figure out that this is the net price equivalent rate. But you're going to take that number and multiply anyway, so it won't make much of a difference. And so what do we wind up having as our net price? Sorry, what was that? 461. All right. So 2864.61 is how much we owe. So we make a payment on July 9th for $1,500. Is a $1,500 payment a full payment?
No.
No, therefore it's partial. What do we do with partial payments?
Divided by 1.8.
Yes. Remember, our 2% discount lasts until July 10th. So on July 9th, we're still getting a 2% discount. So to figure out how much our partial payment is worth, take the payment, divide by the complement of 2%. Where do we wind up this time? What was that? Should be 15 something.
1530.61 cents.
1530.61. Sounds good. You multiply it.
Yes, I did.
Right. All right. What am I going to do with that 1530.61?
Subtract it off the net price.
Subtract it off the net price. Please, folks, do not go back to the list price. That is another one of the standard student mistakes that are sometimes made at this point, is forgetting that you have a net price. Right? So grab that net price, 2864.61. minus 1530.61. Hey, isn't that nice? No more pennies. Whenever you can get rid of pennies, life is good. So what are we down to? 1334?
Mhm.
And I make the final payment on July 20th, folks. How much do I pay on that final day?
Should be 1334 because you're past
Yeah, when did the 2% discount window close?
710.
On the 10th of July. So since we're after that, you owe it all, folks, right? No discount anymore. All of the windows are closed. So whatever you owe, that's how much you owe. And again, that's another one of those where just don't freak out, right? If there's no discount, it's not like you don't owe anything, it just means you owe everything. That's sort of the opposite end of the spectrum to some degree. You got to pay it all. All right? Not bad? All right. Oh, I like this next question. I did ask this question on a test once. I will never ask it on a test again. The average on the score was below 50%, so any question that does that to me, I always throw away after it happens. But it's such a fun question, though. But yeah, it was a little bit out of the box, so it caused issues. So the idea behind this problem, folks, is that I went back into my checking account or in my, my bill payment software, and I said, hey, I see that I sent $2,125 for this 600 pens that I sent to, okay? And I knew what my trade discount was because it was on the receipt for whatever reason, or it was on the piece of paper that came with that particular item. The problem with it, though, is that the invoice that I have for this doesn't tell me what the MSRP for the pen is. So I don't know what to sell the manufacturer's suggested retail price for the pen at. So I don't know what to set the price at, and that's a problem, right? Now, I could, if I wanted to, just call up my wholesaler and say, hey, can you look up this invoice and tell me what the MSRP for the pen is so that I can sell the pen for the correct price? But what's been going on in this particular industry, folks, and it's scary that it's actually starting to happen in the real world, is that in the manufacturer retail business, retailers are now having to pay the wholesaler for any questions that they ask. So in other words, if the retailer isn't keeping good records and has just been saying, oh, whenever I have a question, I'll just call the wholesaler. The wholesaler said, well, if they keep calling me, what do they have to do? They have to keep somebody hired who's working the phones all the time, right? Who wants to pay for someone working the phones? Do you think a wholesaler who's just manufacturing some product like pens wants to have somebody sitting by the phone 24/7? No. And if they are, do they want to pay for it? No. So what have they started doing? They've actually started charging for a phone call to the help desk or for a billing question.
That's bogus.
It started happening. They've actually started tacking on $2 charges for every phone call that retailers make to wholesalers when it comes to asking billing questions, because they're getting tired of paying to have a record-keeping company. When, in theory, if you just keep your records better, you would know and it would be okay. All right? So, again, this is why, in theory, you should be able to do this problem without having to call. So, we can divide. How are we going to divide, and what are we going to divide by? Well, that'll give us that gives us the price for the pens. But remember, the MSRP is based off of the list price.
Yeah.
This is the net price, because this is what I paid, right? So you need to somehow manufacture the list price out of this.
First you have to compliment your friend and get your...
Okay, good idea. We've got a bunch of trade discount amounts. 80, 90, 96. Never a bad thing to do right off the bat. Again, note, folks, when you write that up on this problem, you're guaranteed to get at least 2 points on this question. Right? Writing complements up there above trade discounts, those are points. All right? Now, how am I going to get back to the list price. Let me remind you, how do we normally calculate the net price?
Net price is usually you take the list
Uh-huh.
multiplied by the trade discount.
Well,
Well, the equivalent. That one, yeah.
so this is how we find the net price when we have the list price, but now we need to go backwards. How do we go backwards?
Net price equivalent, right?
Exactly. So just take the net price and divide by the net price equivalent rate. So here, fill in the numbers, right? The net price is 2125. It's equal to the list price times. What's the net price equivalent rate, folks? 6912.6912. Again, because that equals 0.8 times 0.9 times 0.96. And so to get the list price, the list price is going to be 2125 divided by 0.6912. So what does that work out to be?
3,074 and 36 cents.
3,074
36 cents.
and 36 cents. So that's what our list price was. It was just a shade over $3,000. Now, how do I get the price of each pen when I have the list price?
Divided by 600.
Now divide by the 600. 3,074.36 divided by the 600 pens. In theory, what was the manufacturer's suggested retail price according to my bill? $5.12.
In the same case, you could divide by the 600 in the first place, and then just divide that number by the
0.6912. Yeah, true. Order doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yep, wouldn't matter. If you divide it by the 600 and then divide it by 0.6912, you get the same answer.
That's expensive.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's one of those really nice fancy pens, right? That you can push the top down and you get 8 different colors.
They're still not that expensive.
Those are like-
12 cents.
Like
No one sells
fifty
any
Those are
cents.
decently priced.
Why not $5.12?
because no one
Staples
sells
and
That's
any
a
stuff
for
cost.
like
12
that.
cents.
They're decent expensive. They're decently costly.
You don't set the price. Remember, folks. It's not as a retailer, you don't set the price. You just have to tell what the manufacturer says. If the manufacturer says throw 12 cents on it, you're like, fine, whatever, dude. Again, it's not your concern, because as the retailer, your job is to just negotiate your kick-ass discount, right? Your 20/10/4 discount. That's what you negotiated so that you got profit. $5.12? In theory, they will sell. Again, you don't have to worry about it, right? That's the reason why you run a retail market, folks, is that you don't want to have to do the advertising and do all of the song and dance to say, well, why is it an extra 12 cents? That's just it. You don't care. You're like, look, that's what the manufacturer told me to sell it for, right? $4.99, $5.12, what the hell is the difference? Nothing. But that's what they told you, and you're going to follow your contract, right? Because you guys don't break contracts, because when you do, you get sued, right? And so, again, if it works out to be $5 and a penny, same thing. You just do what you're told. That's why you like retail businesses, because you don't have to worry about that. Okay? Again, it also then forces you to be in a very confined business too, right? And you can't maneuver much, but maybe that's okay. All right? All right, but anyways, that is a way of dealing with it if you want to be able to remanufacture a suggested retail price from the end of a particular statement. All right. And then our last example. I had to have some shipping in here, so now I got some shipping. Woohoo! I also need to use terms where they were standard terms, right? Note, this doesn't have ROG, it doesn't have EOM. That just means they're standard terms. Everything will be based off of the invoice date counting forward, right? Nothing special, none of this end of the month plus 10 days crap. Just regular old invoice. Alright? Alright, and I've simplified this problem down to the barest bones possible. I've given you all the detail and said I paid the bill on May 14th and I want to know how much did I pay. That's all I care about. None of this list price, none of this net price, none of this discount amount crap. Just tell me how much I paid. Alright, so how are we going to get there?
Just like the other problem.
Yes, good. It's not like just because I didn't ask you to calculate things doesn't mean that you shouldn't, right? So I would expect that in this kind of a problem, you guys would still go, hey, what's the list price? And calculate it to be safe, right? So cool. 500 times my 555 shirts, really good, high quality shirts for $5.55. $27.75. What are you going to do with your discount? Compliments. What are my compliments? 90, 91, 92. Don't tell me it's 90, 80, 70 or something weird like that. Or 90, 10, 20. Again, whatever. Alright, so what are you going to do with those in order to keep moving forward on this problem? Yeah, multiply them, right? You could calculate your net equivalent, net price equivalent rate, but you can, if you want, just jump right to the net price, right? Take the shortcuts that you can take, right? So take 27.75 and multiply by 0.9 times 0.91 times 0.92. So what's my net price? 2,090 and 91 cents. 2090.91. Nice number. Now, there's the shipping of $200. Should I add the $200 of shipping in there right now? Am I done with all of my discounts? Maybe not, right? I may be getting an early payment discount, so wait to deal with the $200 of shipping, right? The invoice date was April 28th. I received my goods on May 4th. I pay my goods on May 14th. What kind of a discount do I get? Which date am I using, folks?
Which one?
It doesn't say ROG, right?
No.
Therefore, when you receive the goods is immaterial. Everything is based off the invoice date. The only time you use the receipt of goods date is if you are a pirate. Right? Then you can wrong at the end of your terms and deal with the invoice, the receive date, right? So we have to deal with this date. Is 5/14 within 10 days?
Oh, yeah. Well, then, it's discount.
Yeah, so there's no discount, right? So how much do we owe? Don't forget, though, what else do I owe? Shipping. Now you can add in the shipping. Now that you've figured out every possible discount, don't forget the $200 of shipping. And that's why shipping is annoying, is because you really have to wait until all of the payments are made before you deal with any discounting on it. Okay? And so my final payment amount is going to be for $22.91 to cover the payment for my goods and the $200 of shipping. All right?
Just a quick question. When you, as far as no discounts, It's when the invoice date was 4/28, it's just 10 days after that, right,
Yep.
with the standard, okay.
Yep. Regular standard 10 days.
All right,
And definitely 10 days after the 28th.
right,
Right? No matter how you count the calendar,
right.
you, 14th is definitely going to be after those 10 days.
Unless you're expecting that anyway.
That's true. That's right. And this is a classic trick type question too, where you see, oh, but they're just 10 days from each other, but it's the wrong date, right? We don't get to use that one unless it says R-O. Alright? Alright, so there's a quick review of Chapter 7. How about questions on the Chapter 7 homework? What was that, Monroe?
Number 42.
Number 42? Alright, what does number 42 state?
Alvin's in Austin, so Forest of Los Angeles, $7,000 in fine bucks.
Okay, so sold $7,000 of stuff.
Fine.
Oh, sorry. Fine stuff. Okay.
The terms were 2/10 end of month, FOB.
FOB shipping.
Yes. Boston Hobbits agreed to prepay the $80 freight.
It's $80 of shipping?
Yes, but they prepaid it.
Yeah, which is this is the type of thing that the book does, is they say that one company will pay another company's shipping cost and then expect them to reimburse them. Don't ask me why they think businesses would do that, but apparently that's the way they think it's going on. Basically assume that it's an $80 shipping charge that you have to pay for. Okay?
Oh, that's what I was confused about.
Yeah, I mean this whole the other company paid for it and you're going to reimburse them crap. I don't understand that either, but the book likes to do that. That's why I said shipping was a pain in the ass in this chapter, and this is why. All right.
So the last of it is if Forrest pays the invoice on June 8th,
Hang on. Pay June 8th. Okay.
what will Forrest pay?
What was the invoice date?
The invoice date was.
Oh, May
June 8th.
14th, I think?
Yeah, it's the only date on
Invoice date was what?
May 14th is the only other day it is.
May 14th. Okay.
Oh, and then if Forrest pays on June 20th, what will Forrest pay?
Ah, okay. So pay on June 8th and then pay on June 20th. Okay, so 2 questions in theory. All right. All right, so note that they're not getting any trade discount in this problem at all. All they're getting is early payment discounts. That's it, which makes this a nice, relatively simple problem. But the question is, folks, on June 8th, do we get a 2% discount?
Yes.
Why, yes, Greg?
Well, because it's before the 14th, so it'd be end of the month plus you get the 10 days.
Right, exactly. So here's May 14th, right? You're going to go, since it's EOM, you go to the end of May, and 10 days after the end of May is June 10th, right? So they're going to get a 2% discount until June 10th. So on June 8th, we get a 2% discount. So how do we use that 2% discount? Full payment. So not divided by, but multiplied by, right? So what's 7,000 times 0.98? 68.60. And then don't forget, folks, if there was annoying shipping on this, in theory we owe for the shipping. We're going to pay it back to the other company somehow of $80. So after we get the 2% discount, add the $80 in shipping. So on June 8th, we would write them or send them a check for $6,940. All right. Now, how about June 20th?
Should be paying $7,080.
Yeah. Because by June 20th, there is no discount. So the $7,000, we owe the $7,000. Don't forget the $80 of shipping, right? 7,000 plus the 80. $7,080 if we pay on June 20th. All right. Again, I apologize for some of the problems that try to trick you with shipping the way they're doing it. I will, like I said, I will be much more explicit with shipping. I will tell you, you owe $100 of shipping. Make sure you pay for it. Okay? No tricks from me. I'm not going to try and fool you into thinking that you already paid the shipping because someone else paid it for you. That's whatever. All right, so make sure you don't miss that one. All right, another one. Any other ones that you're not sure about, where they ask annoying shipping questions on? There's definitely more of them. Again, sorry. Oh.
That's a wrong
Okay.
number.
Oh. Well, we can do it out of it if you really want to.
No.
No?
No.
Well, then pick an even one, folks. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to new
46.
stuff.
46.
46. Okay. What does 46 say?
Cell phones listing for $99.99.
Okay, so cell phone, $99.99.
Chain discount of $15.10.5.
$15.10.5.
So the company sells the cell phones. The company sells its cellular phones that list at $102.99.
So the other cells, $102.99. Okay.
With so chain discount of $25.5.
25 chain discount. Okay.
If company is buying 6 phones,
Oh, hang on. Buy 6 phones. Okay.
I mean person, how much could she save if she buys the lower price company?
Which is a better deal, and by how much? Which is a much cleaner way of saying the exact same question.
Maybe
Again,
you should write a math book and just give it to us.
there's been days where I really wanted to rewrite this by myself. Especially because, I don't know if you guys know this, but Jeff Slater, who actually wrote the book, he actually teaches up in Madison. So he actually lives in town. So I send him emails all the time complaining about how he wrote the book.
Do you really?
Yes.
I'm sure he
From
loves
long
it.
ago, I've
Yeah, no, he absolutely hates. I'm sure he loves me. I mean, that's what I meant to say.
I mean, you could always just give us these things, and we can do that instead of the actual number sentence.
I'm getting there. I've almost got enough problems written up in my own style that I could just replace all of his homework with my own, but we're not quite there yet. Because like chapter 6, where there's 92 questions. Oh.
We don't need to do 90.
Yes, those are good practice. All right, so folks, how are we going to handle this problem? First thing to do is to realize, do not do this on a per phone basis. Do it as a full invoice problem, right? So you need to create a list price for both deals. List 6 times $99.99. What is that? $599.94. And then The other one, 6 times 102.99. What is that?
1794.
617.94. Okay, I'll buy it. So those are what the invoices are without the discounts. Now the discounts are clearly different, right? 15, 10, 5, and 25, 5. So we have to figure out which ones are better. Just make sure you put the right discounts with the right numbers, right? So, cell phone A, whatever it was called, $59.94 times its chain discounts complements, right? 85, 90, 95. And then the other cell phone, whatever it is, B is what I'll call it, 617.94 times 0.75 times 0.95, right? 25/5 discount. And see which one winds up being cheaper. So how much for cell phone A?
$436.01.
436.01. Okay. And how much for cell phone B?
$440.28.
440.28. So which one's a better deal, folks?
Cheaper one.
The cheaper one, the 436.01. And how much is it better by?
$4.27.
$4.27. So again, sort of one of the kickers to that particular problem is that what a lot of students do is they try and do this problem on a per phone basis and then multiply by the 6 last. That doesn't work as well. You actually make a rounding mistake by doing that. It doesn't turn out to be 427. It's like 429 or 426. It's just not quite the right number. So you really need to multiply this entire thing out first by the 6, then by the chain discounts, then compare the prices. All right? All right. One more?
$38.
38, sure. That's a 3
That is ugly.
It's a bad 3, but it works. Okay. Go
So,
ahead.
Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory founder and president Frank Quayle employs 220 people and 361 outlets in the United States, Canada, United Arab Emirates, Japan, North Korea, and Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
If the company purchased 20 kilograms of premium dark chocolate at 16.25 per kilo,
Oh, $16.25. $16.25 per kilogram. Okay.
what is the net price with 10/5 chain discount rounding years?
Find net with a 10/5 discount. Okay. So, what do I have to do first? To get the net, usually, folks, you got to find the list first. What's the list price of this purchase?
325.
What?
Wait a minute. Never mind.
20 kilograms at $16.25 per kilogram. Multiply. What does that work out to be? 325 or something?
Right.
Okay, 325.
I just gave the answer. Math.
And now how do we find the net price, folks? Take the list price and multiply by the complements of your discounts. 0.9 times 0.95. Sorry, what did that get us?
$277.88.
277.87 or 88?
88.
88. So it's like
Round.
875 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So make sure that you round that 277.875 up to the 277.88 that they will owe net-wise for that particular purchase of chocolate. And who knows where it's going? It doesn't matter. It could be Japan, it could be the United Arab Emirates, it could be Canada, it could be whatever, right? All those different countries. All right. Not bad? That, folks, is Chapter 7. All right. So if you are happy with your Chapter 7 homework, folks, I would love it if you turned it in. Please note that if you need to hold on to it to finish it up or maybe to fix it up, that's perfectly fine. I got no problems with that. Just get it to me by Tuesday? Tuesday. Okay. All right. 10 minutes.
I mean, you can let us go early.
And cheat you out of your money?
No, we'd be going home doing homework.
That would cheat you out of a potential 10 minutes of money, folks. You paid for my time.
It's probably like a cent.
Thanks.
You break it down over how many weeks and hours and minutes.
You know, that should be a math question we should ask.
How much is my 10 minutes worth?
Yep.
You know, divided by each one of you. All right, so I'll just get us started. I'll throw some terminology at you guys just to get it going, and then we can call it a day. I won't go too long. I won't try and push this or anything like that. But I do at least want to set the table for terminology and things that we have to deal with when you are working with markups and markdowns. All right? Okay, so Chapter 7 was how to run a retail business, which is all based on discounts, right? So retail businesses, their profit is all driven by how much of a discount they can negotiate with their manufacturer. That's their job, all right? When you're running a markup business or a markdown business, again, more markup than markdown, you're basically running a traditional resale shop. Or you guys are running a garage sale, right? And the idea is that in a garage sale, you probably went to one of your neighbor's garage sales and found this pen, and they said, I'll sell you that pen for a nickel. And you're like, sweet, I'll buy it. You buy that pen for a nickel, and then you go to your own garage sale, and you sell this pen for a quarter. Because if you buy it for a nickel and sell it for a quarter, you made money, right? And that's the other way of running things, is instead of having someone else tell you what you're going to sell stuff for, you decide what you sell it for, and you decide based on how much you actually paid to buy the item. Okay? So, terminology. Some of these things are going to be relatively straightforward, so I don't think I really need to describe them. What's the selling price, folks?
It's price issues.
Yeah, it's the price you sell it. Do I really need to define that for you?
No.
Okay, good. Just realize, what I will do, though, is give you the abbreviations that I am going to use to describe these particular terms, right? So selling price, please note, folks, that we're going to use the S, not the P. The P is going to stand for something else when we get into Chapter 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So that we don't butt heads with those chapters, we're going to use S here. All right? What do you think cost is?
How much it costs.
It's what you paid for the item, right? It's also going to be abbreviated with C. And please, again, try and remember, folks, that you are the seller, okay? So when you ask what did it cost, it's what you paid for an item that you are going to eventually sell. All right? It's not what you bought, the latest pair of jeans for. That's not important, right? Unless you're going to sell those at a later date. And then the last term is the markup. What do you think the markup is?
You paid for it, but you're selling it for.
Yeah, it's the difference between what you paid for and what you're selling it for, or it's how much you marked up the price, or how much you marked up on the cost to get to the selling price, right? And again, we're going to call that M. How much you marked up the cost to get to the selling price. So what is the overarching formula for this particular chapter, folks? How do S, C, and M relate? Yes. Awesome. The selling price is equal to the cost plus the markup. Duh. All right? Again, it's what a lot of this stuff is not deep. It's just setting it up in terminology so that you get it. Now, where this gets deep is how we define the markup. Okay? And that's where it gets nasty. And where you guys are going to go, oh, really, Marshall? And I'll say, yes, I'm sorry. Okay? We're not going to get to that today, but I'm going to preface it, all right? Just a little bit. So, what's missing from this problem so far that we have had in every chapter since chapter 6? Yeah, a rate. We're missing a rate, folks. So, what do I need to put up here? A markup rate. Okay? But before I can do that, markups will be a rate-driven value. But, and here's the big but, and I mean that the right way, not the wrong way. It can be from either the cost or the selling price. Okay? And one of those is traditionally standard for us to think about when it comes in to terms of selling things that we buy first. And the other one is a little bit less common, and so you have to bear with me. Okay? So, the way it works, and this is where I'll end it right here, is that if you mark up by cost, markup by cost, then the markup will be the rate times the cost. Okay? So, if you bought something for a nickel and you sold it for 25 cents, that means your markup was 20 cents, and that markup is actually 400% of the cost. Right? Because what is 20 cents compared to 5 cents? It's 4 times as much, right? So that's 400%. If someone told you that they marked up an item 400%, would you buy it?
No.
Usually not, right? But if they only bought it for a nickel, a 400% markup is 20 cents. You guys care that much about 20 cents?
No.
Well, I do, because apparently I only make about 20 cents an hour, according to you guys. But, yeah, that's the idea, though, right? All right, now, the other way that you can do it is that you can mark up by price. And the only difference, folks, is just how you base the markup. Instead of the markup being a percentage of the cost, guess what it's going to be a percentage of instead?
Right.
Yeah, that's the only difference. Rate times selling price. And what we are going to do next time is learn how those two different rules screw up all of this nice, easy math that we were hoping was going to be really straightforward. But hopefully I can show you that it's not that bad, but it does take a little bit of work on your part. All right? So, we will finish up Chapter 8 next time. And if you did not turn in Chapter 7 today, please make sure you turn it in Tuesday.